I think that the best way to present it is many of us small business owners find ourselves after a while, we started our business to have some time freedom, make more money, and be our own boss. And at the end of the day, we have our own business, we work harder than we did for the job, and many times we make less money. So we become actually, slaves to our new business. And so who is going to be better at sharing with us how to grow our business from an investment point of view than David Gazav? Please help me invite David Gazav to the stage here. Thank you.
Great. And I was really surprised to see Mr. Balisara here. I guess he came just because he heard I was speaking, right? Thanks. All right. So since he's here, I have to start out with what's my why? All right, I honor Jim, and I know your why. So why I do what I do is I'm passionate about continuous improvement. And that kind of comes out of the desire to fix things. So all of my career has been all about, oh, we've got this problem over here, I can fix that. We got this job over here, it's 3 months behind and 30% over budget. That's easy. Let me go out and do that. So I'm really passionate about continuous improvement, and that's not only about fixing things and businesses, but it's about self-improvement. So I'm a voracious learner, continuously trying to add to my skill set to get better at what I do, always. Okay? And I'm not exactly spring chicken, so you can imagine how much knowledge that has taken to build up. But anyway, so like I said, is that we go into business with a dream, and we start about going in, and a lot of businesses, they focus on how you get revenue. Okay, and revenue's great, but profit's much better. Right? If we don't make a profit, then we're just really burning ourselves out for nothing. So we really need to think about business, and small businesses are not alone in this. You'd be surprised how many big businesses don't focus on this. They focus on users and revenue, and forget that to stay in business, you actually have to have a bottom line. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to generate a bottom line. Now we're going to do a little light math today, okay? Don't all go to sleep on me. It's cell phone math, right? We can get by with it. So let me ask you a question. I have a $10 bill here in my pocket. How many of you will give me $1 for it? Quick, raise your hands. That's all? I have a $10 bill in my pocket. How many of you will give me $1 for it?
Waiting for the 100,000.
Why isn't everybody raising their hand?
Trust.
Trust. Fear. Fear of the unknown. Risk. Okay, you don't believe it? You don't believe I give you $10 for $1? Okay. So that's when we look at a business, that's really what it comes down to, right? I have to risk $1 to make 10.
So where's the 10?
I'll see you after.
You just hurt my...
Then here's the catch. You have to give me the $1 today. I'll give you the 10 back next week.
There you go.
Okay?
I know where you said that first.
Do you take change?
Okay. But the 10, how do you know I'm going to give you the 10 back?
Because I know you.
Because you know me.
Because I know you and I like you and I trust you.
Okay. Well, that's a good start.
Community.
That's a good start. So what we're really talking about here is return on investment. I can put $1 out, and I hope to get more back. And hopefully it's a lot more. 10x, 10 times is a pretty good return, right? Would you agree?
Yep.
Well, only if my total cost is less than 10. So what is ROI? Well, we're talking about putting money out, so trading money for money. So how many of you are trading money for money in your business right now? You putting any money out to get?
Yeah.
All of you in this room, right? You're putting out money. Okay, so where do business owners waste money the most? What do you think that is? Two big ones. What do you think it is?
Gas.
Gas?
Payroll.
Time is one. Oh, well, I'm just here on my time. So your time's worth nothing? Overhead.
Effort.
Getting their name out.
Advertisement.
Marketing.
Yeah. So first of all, time equals money. So the fact that you're in here right now is costing you something. It's something you can never get back. Today, this hour or two you spend here is gone. You only get a limited amount of it, okay? So this is, and if we have staff, right, now we're talking about wasting big money. Fast, right? Biggest cost of most businesses is when you get large is your cost of your payroll. So we want to be conscious of that, and we want to work on ways to maximize the value, particularly time. Like, okay, you know, everybody's heard about Bitcoin. Bitcoin used to be worth a penny, now it's worth like $1,200 a piece. Right? So what is your time worth today, and how can we increase that value? So maybe right now you don't really value your time that much. You know, I don't have anything to do. I'm going to go to Successful Thinkers and see if maybe I can get some business. Well, let's take a look. Here's a typical business owner. So let's say I want to work only 40 hours a week, and I want to take 2 weeks off. So we assume then that gives us 2,000 hours a year. That's our limit of bank of time. Okay. Would everybody like to work? How many of you are working more than this? And how many of you have had a vacation in the last 5 years? One? Only two? Okay. So let's say I want to make 200 grand. Modest goal from a business standpoint. So that means every hour I spend, on average, has to be worth $100 if I want to hit that goal. So first important thing is to understand what it is I want to hit, so I have a goal. Then I need to value my time and look at my business activity such that I'm generating that kind of return on my time invested. All right, so let's look at two different types of businesses. The typical sole practitioner, as opposed to what we call a team builder. Now, how many of you have a team? Good, that's good. How many of you are afraid to have a team? I run into that a lot. I don't want to hire anybody. It's a problem. Well, it's not a problem if you know how to do it. But here's the value of it. So a typical sole practitioner, 10 hours a week, $100 billable. The other 10 hours a week, going to network events, blah, blah, blah. 10 hours a week, phone, email, filing, emptying trash, dusting. I talked to a business owner one time and I asked her what she did on a describe your day for me. First hour of the morning was watering plants. I said, how much do you bill out at an hour? $325. Okay, so every morning you spend $325 watering your plant. So 4 hours a week doing bookkeeping, 4 hours a week fixing a computer, weekly income $1,000. How many hours is up there?
38.
Simple math, right? 38. What happened to the other 2 hours?
Wasted.
I don't know. It's 5 o'clock. Came, went. I don't know what happened to the other 2 hours. So there's 2 hours that came in account for it. So let's look at it from a standpoint of building a team. So I decide to go out and actually hire a team, so now I can actually focus 30 hours a week on doing what it is I'm supposed to be doing, which is the core business, selling what I sell, and generating revenue. And I spend the other 10 hours a week managing my team, my strategy. So I hire a marketing assistant, 4 hours a week, $200. That's a pretty expensive marketing assistant, $50, but sometimes you gotta pay that much. I hire a bookkeeper for 3 hours. My business only takes about 20 minutes to do bookkeeping because of the system I have in place. 3 hours bookkeeper, they charge about $70 an hour, believe it or not. 210 a week, you need that much. 2 hours for the IT guy. Now, you probably don't need an IT guy for 2 hours unless your network's a disaster. But, you know, some businesses may need an IT guy. This is where I see most time wasted, is that doing your own IT stuff. So, you know, you can get an IT guy for about $100 an hour. If you need him for 2 hours a week, he's probably not a good IT guy. So if we add all that up, oh, I'm gonna get a secretary. Okay, 20 hours, part-time secretary, 20 hours a week. You know, what's that work out to? About $18 an hour? No, maybe $22 an hour. So if I add all that up, my cost per week is $10.40, but I'm able to generate $3,000 in business, so I actually almost double my income because I've redirected my time toward getting my business. Okay? Not hard now. So the idea here is that where you invest your time can make a big difference in what the results of your business are. So remember we said we wanted to do 200 grand a year, so I need to go to 4 grand a week, right? And you say, well, how do you do that here? Well, gee, I hire a couple of sales associates and give them 30 hours a week, get them 30 hours a week billable time, and I'm paying them maybe 20% of, maybe I'm paying them $20, $25 an hour, and all of a sudden I've quadrupled my revenue. So that's how you can grow a business. So I've taken attorneys, particularly, because they're bad about IT stuff, solo practitioner attorneys, and actually quadrupled their income within a few months, because just by using this kind of principle. So you want to understand what your return on time invested is. Now, of course, you can't go from 10 to 30 overnight, right? You got to market. So you have to transition from one to the other. You've got to step off of one stone onto the other without falling into the river. So you have to be able to build out a plan to do that. So one of the ways we control our time, how many of you have a calendar? I hope everybody has a calendar, right? You need to make one-on-ones. Notice that this is what we call a default activity schedule, default diary. Notice that there are no blank spots. So what am I doing? What am I doing over here? Well, that's when I'm scheduled to do my cold calls. So every hour has been budgeted for something. Now, we should be doing a plan, and out of that plan, we would use the results of that plan and it goes into our time budget. Now, one thing I would say about this particular calendar, it's not specific enough. So I would say if it says cold calls here, it's going to say make 10 cold calls to this target market. So you get very specific with your calendar, your marketing activities, and you're typically going to balance your marketing activities, about 30% marketing, 30% operations, etc., until you can get to this time block gets to go to the secretary. This time block gets to go to the marketing person. Now I get to fill that in with appointments. Okay, so that's how we budget our time. So remember, your time is your most valuable asset because you can't make any more of it. So the other place where we waste money is, of course, marketing. Anybody have worked with Yelp? Get a phone call from Yelp? Yeah. We're gonna want to get your Yelp marketing page, blah, blah, blah. $350 a month, you know, and they ask you, what's your budget? I said, my budget doesn't matter. What do you mean your budget doesn't matter? Well, if I give you $1 and you give me back 10, how much money do I want to give you? Every freaking dollar I can dig out of my pocket. Because I've got that known return on that investment. But they won't guarantee that. Oh, well, it depends on this, depends on that, depends on this. Say, great, show me what you've done for somebody else. Show me that you can do the same thing for me. Okay, so that's the first thing we want to start. Before we go to marketing, we need to be able to measure it. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, if I put $1 out, how much do I get back? Well, how do we know? Well, maybe I need to experiment. But there are a couple of key components that we want to understand. So one is, how much does it cost to buy each customer? Okay? Does any of you know how much it costs you to buy a customer? Anybody? Get that figured out? So that's the first step, is knowing how much it costs you to buy a customer. The second piece is knowing what that lifetime value of that customer is. So what does that mean? Well, how long do they stay with you after you bought them? Okay, so it's not just about, to grow a business from an investment standpoint, is not just about getting the sale today. It's about developing that relationship over time to yield the greatest return. Oh, I got to start now. So, I'm going to get into a little bit more complicated math. It's still pretty much fun math. So let's say, and believe me, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from networking. What I want you to do is I want you to be conscious of what you're doing, because once you get that awareness, you will change your approach and you will improve your situation. Awareness is the first step. And when we talk about, when we work with a business to grow them, simply by putting in measurements, creates an awareness that automatically drives an increase just because of the awareness, without having to really change a whole lot. So first step is awareness. So I want to be aware, all right? So typical BNI, all right? Costs $1,000 by the time you pay for the entry fee and by the time you pay for the quarterly dues. If I go 50 weeks out of the year, and I spend 2 hours each meeting, so, and I want to make $100 an hour, right? Back to our goal. It's costing me $11,000 to show up at BNI every week. Wow. The attorney I work with, we were talking about, oh, my break even on BNI is $1,000. I said, no, it's not. Break even on BNI is $30,000 because you get $300 an hour. Oh, well now, instead of getting one estate plan every 6 months, I better get like 2 every month, right? So now all of a sudden I've got an awareness that drives my viewpoint in my activity. So let's say we get 20 leads a year. And so if we divide our cost by our number of leads, we get costing us $550 to buy each lead. So BNI, have a pretty good relationship. So let's say 50% of them turn into customers. So my actual cost per customer is $1,100 coming out of BNI. So that's my cost to buy that customer. So if you're selling $100 widgets, how many widgets do you have to sell each customer to break even?
11.
Ah, okay. It is simple math, right? Yeah. So now I know that in order for BNI to pay for itself on a yearly basis, I need to sell 11 widgets for every lead that I get, and I need to get about 10 leads, 10 customers out. Right? So now I know what my break even is on my time investment and my dollar investment in that particular event. Now, if I'm not getting this, should I quit BNI?
No.
Yes.
Analyze.
Improve
Yes.
ability.
That's the first reaction. Oh, I'm lazy, I'm just going to quit. And goes, well, where else are you going to go? Maybe you need to change your strategy in BNI to yield more of these leads. What are you doing? What can you do to change this number here? Okay. What can you do to change those two numbers? The difference between those two is your conversion rate. So you want to know what your conversion rate is. Okay, so before we say, well, I'm going to cut it, I need to figure out, am I doing everything I can to maximize this and to lower that cost per customer? So let's say Yelp or YP.com, right? Much lower investment, right? Autopilot, 20 leads, $100 a lead, 4 customers, let's say I'm not going to have this higher conversion rate because it's a colder lead. So it cost me $500 per customer. Well, that's cheaper than a BNI customer. right? But what's